The cheetah is the cheetah. Stephen A. Smith wants Chiefs to get Tyreek Hill, even at the expense of Xavier Rashee Rice. A little more than 3 years ago, the Kansas City Chiefs managed to shock the football world. The franchise had just made it to yet another AFC championship, and even though they fell short against the Cincinnati Bengals, it was clear that they would be in control of the conference for the foreseeable future. Then they decided to trade away their star wide receiver, Tyreek Hill. At the time, Chiefs fans couldn't help but cry and exclaim, "How could you do this?" Nowadays, they understand why Hill had to go, but the team's receiving core is once again depleted, and that's been enough for many, including Stephen A. Smith, to begin advocating for a reunion in Kansas City. "If I were the Kansas City Chiefs, I would do everything that I could to get Tyreek Hill back," Smith suggested after the Chiefs were able to find their first win of the regular season against the New York Giants in Week 3. "I'm not saying that I would give up Xavier and Rashee Rice, but would I give up one of them to get Tyreek Hill? Yes, I would. The cheetah is the cheetah. The brother is still electrifying. Thanks to a mixture of poor driving habits and an errant shoulder check from Travis Kelce, Kansas City has had to play the majority of this regular season without either of its top 2 pass catchers. Both Rice and Worthy figure to be back at some point or another, but until then, nothing is guaranteed for the Chiefs. According to ESPN's flagship personality, a trade for Hill would not only alleviate the depth issues for Kansas City, it would also help to free up what remains of Hill's potential. He's got a quarterback in Tua Tagovailoa that can't give him the ball, is telling him that he's going to have to stop and come back for the ball because he can't get it as far as he needs to be able to get that football. Tyreek Hill needs to be with a quarterback with an arm that can fling that bad boy. Unfortunately, for both Smith and the Chiefs, it doesn't appear as if the Miami Dolphins are willing to part ways with Hill. They've already endured countless trade rumors and public trade requests from Hill himself throughout the past 2 years, and did not falter. Even when recent accusations of domestic violence were released by Hill's now ex-wife, ones that could have easily resulted in either a suspension or time in prison, the Dolphins remained committed to him. Suffice to say, unless the Chiefs are willing to refund the 5 draft picks that Miami gave them in order to acquire Hill, then it seems relatively safe to say that the cheetah will continue to wear teal and orange on Sunday afternoons. When Stephen A. Smith steps into a studio, there's always an expectation, fire, conviction, and a take so bold it echoes long after the cameras stop rolling. This week, as he leaned into the ESPN desk with that familiar glint in his eyes, Smith delivered what some fans called outrageous and others whispered might just be prophetic. The cheetah is the cheetah. If I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I don't care if I've got Xavier. I don't care if I've got Rashee Rice. I want Tyreek Hill back in red and gold. It was vintage Stephen A. Part gospel, part provocation, and entirely rooted in the drama that makes the NFL feel like Shakespeare on turf. The case for the cheetah. In a league obsessed with numbers, analytics, and youth upside, Tyreek Hill is the exception that swallows every spreadsheet. At 31, he's still the most feared wideout in football. No one tilts the field like him. Defenses know he's coming, and they still can't stop it. His speed isn't just measurable, it's mythical. The cheetah has become more than a nickname, it's an identity. And that's Stephen A.'s point. Xavier may be lightning fast, a rookie who shattered the combine with his 4.21-second dash. Rashee Rice may be steady, a chain mover with chemistry budding alongside Patrick Mahomes. But when playoff football tightens, when a Lombardi is on the line, Worthy is untested, Rice is still developing, and Hill is inevitable. We've seen it. Smith thundered. We've seen Tyreek Hill make Patrick Mahomes look like the second coming of Houdini out there. One flick of the wrist, one step of the cheetah, and defenses are fried. I love these young cats, but let's not get it twisted. There is only one Tyreek Hill. The ghost of 2019. Every Chiefs fan remembers it. 3 RD and 15 Super Bowl 54. Mahomes, down double digits, launches a prayer downfield. Tyreek Hill splits defenders, waits for the ball, and rips the heart out of San Francisco. The play was more than a conversion, it was a cultural reset. It was proof that the Chiefs had something no one else did. A quarterback with no range limit, and a receiver who could turn the impossible into the inevitable. Since Hill's departure to Miami in 2022, Kansas City has remained elite, even winning another Super Bowl. But even the most loyal fans admit, the offense hasn't felt the same. Travis Kelce is still magnificent, but defenses smother him without Hill stretching the secondary into panic. The Chiefs have relied on Mahomes' brilliance and Andy Reid's schemes, but the fear factor, the panic of defensive coordinators, vanished with Tyreek's exit. That's what Stephen A. is channeling. Nostalgia, yes, but also recognition. There was a magic then, and it's missing now. Sacrifices on the altar. The controversial part of Smith's declaration wasn't wanting Hill back. It was the cost. Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice represent Kansas City's future. Worthy is expected to be Hill 2.0, a blazer with raw potential. Rice had a breakout rookie campaign, earning Mahomes' trust. To suggest their expendability isn't just bold. It's almost heretical in today's NFL culture of youth worship. But Smith doubled down. Worthy might be the future. Rice might be solid. But guess what? Championships ain't promised. Patrick Mahomes is in his prime right now. You get him Tyreek Hill, you're guaranteeing the Chiefs at least another Super Bowl. I don't give a damn about 5 years from now. I care about today. That's classic Smith logic, short-term glory over long-term patience. And while many analysts balk at it, Chiefs fans find themselves secretly wondering, is he wrong? Miami's shadow. Of course, none of this exists in a vacuum. Tyreek Hill is still a Miami Dolphin, torching defenses with Tua Tagovailoa and serving as the face of Mike McDaniel's flashy offense. But cracks have appeared. Rumors swirl about Hill's frustrations, legal battles hang like clouds, and the Dolphins' playoff collapses have raised questions. Stephen A.'s take, then, isn't mere fantasy, it's opportunism. The Chiefs could, in theory, pounce if Miami falters or decides to cut ties. Kansas City's front office has always been bold, and if Hill's availability ever became real, who wouldn't at least pick up the phone? The fans' dilemma. The reaction across Chiefs Kingdom has been split. On one hand, fans salivate at the thought, Mahomes, Kelsey, and Hill again. The fireworks, the swagger, the touchdowns so fast they break broadcast graphics. On the other hand, there's caution. Why mortgage the future for a reunion that might not last long? Why sacrifice Worthy's potential or Rice's chemistry for nostalgia? Twitter lit up after Stephen A.'s segment. One fan wrote, "Man, I'd trade my left kidney to get Tyreek back. Who cares about 2028? Another countered,